Slack and he major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little bit of a minute, but we are back with the My Type Hype podcast. Your boy Slack in the building, and as always, my co-host extraordinaire on my left. What's happening, my brother?
Good, man. We're here. My Type of Hype podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. Slack, we saying, you good?
I'm super good, man. I come off two holidays, so that's why we've been away for a little bit. When I got a bit of sun in the Caribbean a couple times. Come back to this bullshit weather, and time to do the wrap up of 2023, the 50th anniversary of hip hop. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, man, we're here. You know what I mean? 2023, the wrap up. We're here, man, talking about it. So as you said, man, 50 years of hip hop. This is the year. And so I'm terrible at multitasking. The other one. I'm trying to talk to my daughter at the same time. So the other. Yeah, so we're here, man. I'm terrible, sorry, man. 50 years of hip hop. So, as we said, we're going to look at some music that's dropped this year, man. Wrapping up the year, we're going to look at some of our favorite projects, projects that we thought were, you know, hit the mark, some that were disappointing, what have you. But it's interesting, man, because 2023, 50 years of hip hop. So this is an important year to talk about this. So what we're going to do before we even get into our albums of the year, let me ask you, bro, how do you feel about the year on a whole without getting into any albums? How do you feel about the year being 50th anniversary and all that?
Yeah, without getting into specifics just yet, we're talking about the 50th anniversary of hip hop here. So I try not to have any expectations. As I've said many times, I try not to have any expectations because expectations lead to disappointment.
Yeah.
However, for the 50th year, the 50th anniversary of this thing called hip hop that so many of us love, enjoy, shaped our lives, all of that kind of stuff, it was a damn squid, man. It wasn't what I can't think of anybody that would say that this was a vintage year for hip hop. Yeah. And it makes it especially disappointing because it was a landmark year in hip hop. Some might dispute and say, you know, hip hop was created before 73 or whatever. I don't care about all that shit. If this is what's classed as the official anniversary, the official half century, then that's what I'm going to go with. And just, I was struggling to get to 10 albums that I really enjoyed this year. I spent a lot of time this year like listening to old stuff, maybe try to catch up on some stuff that I might have missed, but it hasn't been good for me, bro, if I'm being honest with you, man. Music wise, I could literally probably count on one hand the amount of albums that I really enjoyed this year. The rest of them is like cool, or nah, disappointing, or just won't go back to it. So overall, it's a shake of the head from me, bro, to be honest with you, man. Very disappointing. I would have hoped that we'd be doing a wrap up excited, like, you know, new album from Jay-Z, new album from, I don't know, 50 or whoever. But just a bit of a whimper. What about you, man? How you feel about it?
I mean, same. I mean, show-wise, I would have liked to have been and seen a lot more celebrations around the 50th year. I got shout out DJ 279 numbers, done a good show or headlined a good show over here in London for the 50th anniversary. Massive lineup, big thing there. It's a shame that the whole, you know what I mean, hijack.
Yeah, that was one with Daddy Kane.
That's it. It seemed like everyone was talking about that more than the actual event, which is annoying. But that was a good thing that you put on, man. So shout out to Numbers for that.
Yeah, shout out to Numbers today, man.
Definitely, man. You know, Rakim pulled out of the show that was meant to be over here, as he said he was busy doing stuff in America, which, okay, a little bit of a cop-out for me, because come over, do what you're doing and go back and carry on celebrations and that. But, you know what I mean? I went to a few good shows. Was at Ice Cube recently, Ice Cube, Cypress Hill, Obi Trice to the game. That was, I've never seen Ice Cube live before, and he just killed it, man. That was just a beautiful thing to see, man. 30 odd years in a game. Do you know what I mean? Same seeing Nas and Wu in '02, same venue. That gave me goosebumps, man. That was incredible. So little moments like that, I just was like, yeah, man, it's good that these kind of things happened on the 50th year. But releases, I don't believe that 2023 will be a year that we'll look back on and say, man, that was a solid year in hip hop. Do you know what I mean? But some decent drops, yes, but just overall, not a solid year, not in my opinion. From what I've listened to, obviously, I doubt we're going to get the opportunity to listen to everything, but I don't make a beeline to. You know, we were speaking about that as well. We're going to listen to what you're going to listen to. You're not going to listen to every single thing that drops, but out of what's dropped, this is what we're going to be talking about, what we've given our time to. So yeah. So we'll get into it, man. Obviously, had to make lists on this one, but
before you get into it, bro, let me ask you about the 50th anniversary. So we had people like Nas doing all kinds of stuff, like dropping albums, headlining shows, like massive worldwide sellout shows. 50 Cent, same thing. Scarface, I've seen out and about. We saw nothing from Scarface. Has been doing bits, man. I've seen him doing not a tour, nothing like that. But I've just seen him with artists and doing. I've just seen him around, and I'm like,
So I started to panic. I thought you meant he came over. I was going to be pissed that I missed that,
bro. I'll be front fucking row, like that's because I've never seen Scarface live, so I'll be absolutely. But my question is, like, you got people like Jay, Eminem, and a few others who haven't said a peep about the 50th anniversary. I don't think any Dr. Dre, I didn't really hear doing nothing about it. How you feel about that? Do you have any particular feelings about like the people that are held up in such esteem by a load of these hip hop nerds, of Jay-Z and Eminem in particular, who didn't have a peep to say about the 50th anniversary? What do you think about that?
This is going to sound like a mad thing to say, bro, but it's just the truth. People like Eminem, it doesn't bother me because I know Eminem loves hip hop, bro. I probably would have expected him to do something, and maybe he has, and I've missed it or what have you. But people like Eminem, you know, it's like a family member or someone you love that forgets to give you a shout or give you a card or something like that. You don't take it personal because you know the love's there, even if I don't hear from that person or not. You get me? I feel like with Eminem, it's like that. Like he always proves how much he loves hip hop, man, and I know he loves hip hop. I don't doubt that. His fans are the annoying things about him, but he loves hip hop. Even though Jay-Z is my GOAT, I still feel it's weird, but I don't feel like he has that appreciation for hip hop like a lot of other artists do. I can't imagine him saying or doing anything to just promote a hip hop that doesn't have anything indirectly or directly to do with him or his wife. You get me? Obviously, Beyonce's been doing her world tour. He's been following her everywhere, understandably. But yeah, I feel like certain heads, like you said, Nas has been about. He's like the almost ambassador for hip hop this year.
Everywhere, man. Literally.
Yeah, everywhere. Like, I've seen him doing like bits with rap, just you name it. I've seen a lot of people doing things and saying things. So I would expect that if hip hop has put you in a place where you are blessed now, I would expect some kind of like, you know, something said or mentioned. Doesn't have to be, but I'd expect it. But I'm not surprised that I haven't heard it from certain artists like Jay-Z. It doesn't surprise me at all, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's a weird one, really. I would expect if it was me and I was in that position, I would say something. Do you know what I mean? That's celebrating this very thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I was at the Nas and the Wu and the Ice Cube, Cypress Hill, these guys were like, listen, man, 50 years of hip hop. We've been in this thing 30 plus years, and they're giving like they're showing their appreciation for it, man. They could have made money other ways, but they're just saying, look, man, it's because of hip hop why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at thousands and thousands of people have paid now the millions that artists make from tours. People taking out their hard-earned cash, buying tickets, doing whatever they're doing to come and see this person perform live. It's because of hip hop. Do you know what I mean? So I'd expect it to be mentioned more. I definitely would, by certain people, especially the names that are always mentioned. I'd expect it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I was just asking because I just think it was their absence was, you know, conspicuous. Like there was just nothing said or even if it was just like a happy birthday hit something, but just to let the whole year go by and nothing. I'm not saying I was expecting an album or anything like that. To be honest, I'm not expecting anything, but it's just weird that they didn't. So I was just wondering what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, especially with certain people.
Yeah, and it's not just them. Like there's many others, but just those two off the top of my head. You know what I mean? From the standpoint of where they are and where they're held, that the fact that they just didn't acknowledge it was just a bit weird to me. But yeah. All right, man. Let's move on into what you got first. What's on the list?
Rightio. So these I'm putting for what
list, first of all. Is this your favorite from this year?
Yeah. Right, so what I think, well, I ain't got them in any list like that. I've just picked up 10 that are probably my favorites of the year, but they're not in order or anything like that. So what we do to break it up, so I'm not talking for too long, I'll drop 5, you drop 5, we'll take it in turns like that. So yeah, no particular order. Out of what I've heard and spent time with, the 10 that stood out to me. First one I want to go with is Elzai and Oh No, Heavy Vibrato. That blew my mind, man. Like me and you were speaking about it, was just saying how Elzai never disappoints. Really, he's just one of them MCs that's just always under the radar, just delivers the goods each time. But this album for me, I particularly loved. From the first track, ran it through probably 2 or 3 times in a row, and wanted to keep going back to it, which is always a good sign. Lyrically, on point. Production, on point. Oh No. We know, you know what I mean? We know how dope he is anyway. He's not mentioned enough. I was even going back to the Gangrene stuff a couple of months ago, speaking about that as well. Just not mentioned enough, man. But the combination and the delivery and the product on a whole, beautiful project, man. I really enjoyed it. The concepts as well of the tracks. The track where he's speaking about things that irritate him, I was just laughing. I'm thinking, if I'd done a song like this, boy, it'd probably be like 2 hours long. But it was just clever how he done things. So definitely a standout album for me this year. Probably top 5 if I really had to narrow it down. Yeah, didn't put a foot wrong for me. I won't spend too much time on one album. So that would be the first one I'd mention. Second one I'd mention 38 Special in Conway, the Machine, Special Machinery. Anyone who knows me, anyone who's listened to this podcast enough knows how much I love 38 Special. Conway, definitely hovering around my top 3 favorite MCs at the moment. We'll get into them a little bit later as well. But that combination, I mean, they've done work together before, you know, they're frequent collaborators, we know that. But this project was really good for me, man. 38 delivered. And I remember saying, when I heard that it was going to drop, I remember saying, I hope 38 is rapping on it and not just doing the beats, because sometimes he hooks up with artists and he just does beats. Yeah. So I was glad to hear him dropping verses on there. He delivers, man. He don't miss for me. Definitely one of my favorites MCs and producers at the moment, easily. And yeah, very good project, man. Loved it, spun it a lot. Right length as well, man. Just had you going back to it quite a lot. And we done a review on that one as well. I gave it its props. Number 3, Killer Michael. We also done a review on that one. When we done that review, I did mention that it's probably going to end up being one of my favorite albums on the year. We're here at the end of December, and it's still listed in, you know, my top 10. It didn't disappoint. Killer Mike, another exceptional MC. I'm not even a huge fan of the Run the Jewels projects, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've tried to go to them a few times, and they just don't. I think it's the production, LP's production. You know, I'm not huge on that. But Killer Mike, he's flow, delivery, content, he always delivers. And I think Michael, for me, hit the spot more after hearing that after the Run the Jewels projects as well. So another dope one. 4, I'm going to go with Crooked Eye and Joel Ortiz, Prosper. Love that project as well. They've also hooked up a few times, as we know. Maybe they've done 3 or 4 projects together.
Yeah, they did the JFK. They did that weird Slaughterhouse album.
Yeah.
So I think this is their 3rd one now.
Yeah, and they done. Is it Hard? No, what's the one they done with?
Hard. Yeah, with
Hard.
the Reagan.
That's
Yeah,
it.
the
That's it.
four. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
it. Yeah. So, in my opinion, I think this is my favorite one. Time they've hooked up them two. I tweeted it and Cook saw it and said thank you as well. But I thought, yeah, no gas. I think that's the best project from them together. The thing is, standalone MCs, they're both incredible MCs. You know what I mean? But I just felt the chemistry on this one because they weren't dealing with the whole Slaughterhouse project. It was nothing to do with that, man. They were just doing their thing and delivered. Yeah, best project from them. I enjoyed that. Number 5 is actually, it's funny when we done the Spotify wrap up, it came up as my most listened artist and album. So yeah, RJ Payne Barbershop. Love that. Love that project. I listened to that so many times, man. Just kept pulling it back. RJ Payne for me, man, I think he's just on another level. It's just on another level, man. We'll speak more about that after. But that barbershop, the content, I was telling everyone about that album. I was like, listen to this, man. Just listen to this. We're all at a certain age. And, Andre 3000 was speaking and saying about, he don't want to be rapping about certain things at a certain age. And, the desire ain't there and different things like that. And I'm cool with that. There's artists that are older than him that are still dropping fire albums, but everyone's different, and that's how he feels. And I totally respect how he feels.
Right.
I've got no issues with how he feels. But the reason I even mentioned that was because this, like RJ Payne Barbershop, is the kind of project Andre could be dropping. If he wanted to. He's dealing with issues, man. He's looking at the just grown men who still think they're of a certain age. Do you know what I mean?
That's my favorite track on there.
Yeah, man. Just every track, bro. I just think he delivers it. Production, the content, just everything about it, man. Definitely probably top 3 for me all year, if not my favorite. So they're the first 5 I'm gonna throw out. So yeah, what are you saying? What's your 5?
To be fair, I got quite a few that you got on there. So what I'll try and do is say ones that you didn't mention, and then we'll see what the remaining 5 are. So first of all, I'll go for Lloyd Banks, Call of the Inevitable 3. I thought he delivered. I thought that was actually the best one out of the 3 so far.
Same.
That he dropped. He sounded like he had something to prove, although he doesn't have anything to prove to anybody.
Yeah.
But it sounded like, I don't know, it sounded like he was hungry, and he just sounded a bit more. I think the second one was really good, but it just wasn't mixed very well. So sometimes you couldn't really make out what he was saying. That you had to listen a little bit harder. But this one was mixed a lot better. The clarity was a lot better. And yeah, just as an album, I just think it was just really good, just top to bottom. I think there's maybe one song that I could skip, and it wasn't because I didn't like it. It was just, I don't know, I think it was just a little bit just dull, just something I wasn't bothered to listen to all the way through. But as an album, I think that's his best one for real.
I agree.
Big up to Banks for that one. I actually really liked Planet Asia album, Sardines. We reviewed that one too. So a lot of kind of drumless beats that a lot of people don't like on there, but I feel like Planet Asia pulled it off, and I feel like it's really deliberate. I don't feel that they did drumless because it's the thing to do. I think for Planet Asia's voice to kind of stand out, that production suited what he was doing, and I think those two work really well together. So that's an album that I've gone back to a couple of times. I really enjoyed that one. Another one is No Name, Sundial. I like that album quite a lot, man. The production on there was really good. And she just dropped. I like the way she just drops, doesn't really do any kind of fanfare about it. She just drops and then she's gone. But when I listened to it, I was pleasantly surprised because her other 2 albums, Room something, there was something about a room, and there was another. She dropped 3 like over the last few years, so this was the 3rd one that I've got to, and this is my favorite one that she's dropped. So I really enjoyed it.
I need to check that out still.
4, I'm gonna go for. I'm trying to stay away from the ones that you already mentioned. All right, so I'm gonna shoehorn Nas Magic 3 in there. Out of the whole 6-album run that he did with Hit Boy, there's 2 albums that I can say that I like. One of them is Magic, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one is King's Disease 3. Those are the two that I think are his best.
Yeah.
If we're going by what dropped this year, Magic 2 was a bust. That was horrible. I didn't like it at all. I don't think there was one song on there that grabbed my attention. I remember I was in the States when it came out, and I was just like, yeah, what is this? Like, I just didn't bother with it again. So Magic 3 was better, closer to King's Disease 3, that kind of standard. But I think enough is enough now. I think we've had that run. Let it rest. Let it go. You've done 3 of each. Cool. So above like a lot of the other stuff that dropped, cool. And the 5th one, I will go for the Nick Grant album. I can't remember what the hell it's called though. But his album is actually really good.
Okay.
If you haven't listened to it, get to it. Very good album. I think you'd enjoy it, to be honest, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a really good rapper.
Yeah,
The production's good. It's cohesive. It's not dull. And the topics that he's talking about is really dope as well, man. So yeah, I'll put him as number 5.
Cool. King's Disease 3, was that not this year?
No, that was the end of last year, I swear.
Was it? Right. Time's going fast, bro. I thought
Yeah.
it was this year. Okay, so that would come off the list. I thought it was this year. All right, so number 6 on my list then. I'm going to go as person that I just mentioned, closing off my last 5, RJ Payne again. RJ Payne and PA Dre, My Life is a Movie too. Loved it, bro.
Yeah, that was dope too.
Yeah, Jazzy Jeff as well, doing just the commentary throughout the album as well. It felt like he was in Philly, man. Do you know what I mean? And the production on that as well. I mean, we had PA Dre on as a guest. Shout out to PA Dre. The production on that was just, I loved it, man. And it just suited just the whole, it just suited everything about
it
what
felt like the production was all done live. It felt like live production in that album. Do you know what I mean? It didn't feel like making beats on a machine or anything like that. It felt like
exactly.
I like that a lot.
Man. And like we spoke about, it had such a different feel from song to song, but it was cohesive, but it felt different. You know what I mean? It fitted exactly what he was talking about in the songs and everything like that. So yeah. As big a Payne fan as I am, I didn't really enjoy My Life is a Movie 1 as much as I thought I would. Yeah, so when I checked out 2, I was like, this is nice, man. So yeah, definitely. Another one I'm gonna go with, I don't know, I think I just got this guy always gets a pass from me, man. I was listening to Flea Lord recently, like a lot of his stuff, and I'm like, you know what? There's nothing to him. Like there's like you listen to some artists and you're like, oh, this guy like bars, but there's nothing to Flea Lord. Like there's nothing that makes me think this guy's a suit, like he's lyrical, and you don't have to be. You know what I mean, to be a favorite, but I just think there's actually nothing to this guy. I don't know why I like him so much. That's my point. But I just love Flea Lord, man. If he drops, I'm gonna make a headway to listen to it, man. But for a while, it was starting to sound a bit samey. Do you know what I mean? With someone like Flea, I personally feel that he drops too much.
Too much,
you know what
man.
I mean?
That's why I cocked out. It's too much.
And you're not the first. I've heard so many people say what you say. Even me, and I would say, am I a fan? Yes, I would describe myself as a Flea Lord fan. But even me, when I was like deep diving into his stuff, because there was stuff that I missed. So when I'm deep diving into his stuff, even for me, like it's like, well, I'm starting to feel like this is too much. Then when I went back to certain projects, maybe months or even a year or 2 after, I'm like, rah, how come I ain't spinning this still? Because you kind of forgot about it. There was just so much going on. Yeah, just so much going on. But anyway, after People's Champ, he never really dropped anything that touched that for me. I was mad gassed when he was going to drop the one with Havoc and stuff. I was thinking, yeah, but still, People's Champ was his best project. But he dropped 2 Free Zone earlier this year with Crisis. And once again, I know so many people who hasn't even heard it.
Let's just say it's not the Crisis you're thinking of.
yeah.
This is
People
a
was like,
different
Free Lord and
crisis.
Crisis. Yeah, no, not Crisis with a K, it's Crisis with a
Yeah,
C.
not Crisis from the Justice League. This is a different crisis.
Yeah, not that Crisis. No, can you imagine that though? That'd be insane.
That would be
But
crazy. Yeah.
trust. But yeah, so I checked out this one because, as I said, if you drop someone and listen, but I love this project. For me, this is his best project since People's Champ. 2-3 Zone. It just felt fresh. He felt energized. Maybe because he had taken a little step back as well, not dropping so often. I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. One of my favorites this year. So Free Lord and Crisis 2-3 Zone. I also had the Lloyd Banks, Course of the Inevitable 3. And I also had Nas and Hit Boy, Magic 3. Definitely one, like yourself, for me, Magic out of all 6. Magic is his best project. Well, I think Magic is his best project since Life is Good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Magic, yeah. I'll say Magic above all the King's Disease albums.
100 for me. Yeah. Definitely. The King's Disease, I didn't really feel 1 or 2 that much, if I'm honest. 3, I think, was the best one.
3 was the best one.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say that. Another one I'm going to mention then, this will probably be the last one on the list. One just came to me in replacement, but it's gone again. Anyway, if it comes back later, I'll say it. But it's actually Hands On, Carthage.
Oh, you told me about that the other day.
Yeah. So I don't even know about it.
I haven't got to that one yet, but I will.
Nah, I'm feeling it, man. I didn't. You know when albums are just a pleasant surprise, because I didn't know about it. I didn't know it was dropping. But PA Dre done a lot of the production on it. And he tagged us, My Type of Hype. He tagged us and just said, look, check this out when you get a chance. And then I said, yeah, definitely going to. I never got to it till probably about a week or 2 later. But yeah, when I played it, I was like, oh, this is actually nice. Production, hands-on's hard on it, and obviously we're affiliate, there's Woo all over it as well. Just a nice project, bro. And the reason it actually made it to my list is because it's one of those ones where I just wasn't, no disrespect to Hands On or anything else, but I just wasn't really listening to be like, oh, I know this is going to be insane. I just checked it out for listening and enjoying hip hop, innit? And I thought, oh yeah, this is nice, and I pulled it back a few times, man. So fairly new to my ear. Because as I said, it's only a couple of weeks ago. But I know I'm going to be spending a bit more time with that. So I thought it deserved the mention, man. So yeah, that's going to probably be the 5 I would go with, that I'm going back to. Because I think we need to make that clear. There's a lot of dope albums that drop and decent albums that drop. But it's got to have that thing where when you finish it, you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've finished projects, bro, and I've been like, oh, that was nice, that was decent. But there's just no desire in me to go back to
it ever again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not to say that it's bad or anything. It just don't come to my mind for me to say, let me hear that again. So for me, even though it was a good project, it can't be listed because I might not even go back to it unless I stumble across it again.
If I don't care, I never hear it again, then it's not good. Do you know what I mean? It's cool, it's okay. But it's not good, because if it's good, then I'm like, oh, I ain't heard that in a minute or whatever. But
and that's the key, bro.
Saturation in it, so it's where we are.
Yeah, and that's the key. Just before you drop your last lot, that's the key, because the problem we have is that everything's a classic, everything's 10, everything's amazing. You can actually listen to something, enjoy it, and it be good. Oh, this is album of the year. How many times have you played it this year?
Right. Exactly.
Do you remember
how many times have you played it before you made that statement? That's the question.
Right. Exactly.
You play it once and be like, album of the year. Album of the year. Yeah. You're like, you've listened to it once.
Bro,
let's sit with it for a minute, because the song that you like now, you might not like in a week, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You might listen to a song now and be like, yeah. Then you hear it again in a certain setting. You're like, oh, actually, that's dope.
Yeah. And that's why I want to even list things. So someone asked me about the Blue album last week, Africa. And I was like, you know what? In all honesty, I've only listened to it once, not in its entirety, so I can't really even comment. From what I've heard, it's sounding good, but I've not gone back to it yet, and I need to give it a bit more time. So that's why it wouldn't make any list or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know people will listen to that and be like, album of the year. Like, bro, you ain't even got to the end of it yet. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what's your 5, bro? What's your last ones?
Well, the number might be slightly skewed because there's a few that we cross over with. So
We share. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to add a couple in there still. All right, so I'm gonna add in Conway. Won't he do it? Now, when the album dropped, a lot of people was like, "I'm not feeling it," whatever. I liked it, man. I liked it. I thought it was all right. Like he had like varied production on there, Justice League and a lot of other people, and Love the Genius was on there, and blah blah blah. But as I was listening to it, I was like, yeah, this is actually decent. I couldn't see what the backlash was. I think a lot of people still expect him to be doing Reject 2 kind of music and that kind of stuff. But I think the reason he's doing this is because of that exact reason. They're like, bro, you keep making the same music. So it's like, all right, cool, I can go and do this. Then when he does it, they complain again. So it's like, you can't win. But for me, I enjoyed it, man. I also had RJ Payne, Barbershop on there. I listened to that album a lot. I never really got to it because, like you said, I listened to Life is a Movie 1. Wasn't really feeling that, to be honest. So when he dropped this one, I was like, I'll get to it at some point. Because I like RJ Payne, but there's only so much of the pain, that kind of shit that I can take. So I was pleasantly surprised when I listened to this, and he wasn't rapping like that at all. So that just, and then like you said, the whole concepts, the idea of going in the barbershop and talking about all these different topics, it all made sense. So I really enjoyed that, man. I was listening to that on the plane, and I listened to it about 3 times in a row. And I was like, yeah, man, this is really good. I think he did a really good job. Life is a Movie 2, again, also really, really good. Just rapping like normally, and like he's just good at rapping. He doesn't have to do the battle rap kind of stuff, because that doesn't always work if you're doing like a concept album.
Exactly.
And I think he's recognized that. So I'm really glad that he did that, man. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Dark Low, Blood in My Eye. Dark Low, man. Just a different beast, bro. Different kind of guy. I love Dark Low, man. So
totally forgot.
I love that project, man. I listen to that a lot. That's my kind of, you know what I mean? If I was gonna walk to the ring or get ready for a leave or something, that's the album that I'm gonna put on from this year. Listen to that album a lot.
Did he drop a couple this year?
Blood in My Eye was the one. I don't think he dropped 2 this year, not that I know of.
Nah, did he drop the one that we done? Or was that?
I think that is the one we done now.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad you said that, bro. I actually need to go back to that.
But that's whenever them two link up, they never fail, man. Those two never fail, ever. If them two are together, you know that it's gonna slap. It's like Dre and Snoop together. You know what I mean? It's like when them two link up, it's gonna be good, 100%. So yeah, man, I'd say that those, and like I had a load that you had on your list as well, man. To be fair, So yeah, outside of those ones hit for me. Big shout out to Backwards Sweetie, but that was more of an EP, rather than an album. But I've listened to that a hell of a lot. Listened to a lot of Numb stuff. The soul tape that he did. I love that album. Love that a lot. Shout out to Numbs and Furious Styles. So yeah, man, a lot of our guys, man, you know, on the indie scene, man, that have been dropping and really like keeping this shit going, man. Know It All drops fire as well. Yeah, man. So big up to all of you guys, man. Like you guys really held it up this year, for real. So it's not just about the main pieces, man. A lot of this, you know, the underground stuff, we've been checking for you, man, for real.
Yeah, man. I'm not even sure if we can say it on the timeline, but I want to shout out I Am God as well. He sent me and you that project, man. That's not even released yet. But bro, that would have been on my list if it was out officially. Yeah, obviously, it's not. Can't make it to the list, but yeah, that's gonna be a fire project, man. He's next caliber, man. Definitely, yeah. Definitely. But you're right, bro. You hit the nail on the head, man. These underground guys. I don't want to say social media guys, because I don't mean that. But what I mean is, you know, when you almost got to break it down now, because Payne and Flea and them lot you'd say are underground artists. But when you look at independent artists, that's what
that's what I was going to say. Indie artists,
they're holding it down and they're delivering good projects, man. So yeah, I'm glad you said that, bro. Shout out to them, man. Most definitely. Um, all right, so a bit of humor now. What would you say? You could say one, or you could say two or three. Most disappointing albums of the year for you?
Easily. I want to go for two, but there's one that just trumps all of them for me, and that's because he's one of my favorite rappers of all time who dropped an album. And when I heard the title of the album, I was like, why hasn't this been done before? Like this should have been the title of your first album, because that is the perfect title for your album. And if your debut album was called that, I think that would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's a sick title.
The album is Blockbuster. And
knew it.
Busta Rhymes. And the album was Toilet Juice. It was absolutely nonsense.
Yeah.
The features just didn't make any sense. And you've got Timbaland and Pharrell and some other dude executive producing your album, and you still flop. I'm really struggling to get my head. Like there's not one beat on the album that I could say fire. Like you've got Timbo and shit on there. There's not one beat on there. I'm like, yeah, you've recycled 2 or 3 songs that have already been done. I just didn't understand it, bro. It just didn't make sense. So you're doing songs with Kodak Black and Quavo and all these kind of dudes, and then you're recycling songs to do with Coi Leray and a few other people. So it just didn't fit in any way. Like I don't understand how someone of his standing in hip hop, 30 years deep, has dropped an album this mediocre, or not even. I don't even think it's mediocre. I think it's worse than that. It feels lazy to me. To have that caliber of executive producer and drop this, like saying that Swizz produced that song with Coi Leray, which is basically a remake of.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I was just very confused, man. And then I'm like, okay, maybe the next song will be better, and then it wasn't. The song with Giggs is just laughably bad, like laughably terrible. He's got a song.
He's coming like Alchemist now, boy. It's like everywhere you look, it's like a Giggs feature now. But big
respect to Giggs all day long, but he's not a good rapper, bro. He's not,
bro.
Like, let's be real, man.
Yeah.
It's his voice and his flow, but his actual raps, when you actually listen to what it's just not. It's not dope, man. It's not.
No,
and I don't know. I don't know what Busta was doing. Like I've seen him all over interviews and all of this, so it might be doing well for him commercially. But I really struggled to like anything about the album. So, and when I heard it announced, I was like, Blockbuster, Timbaland,
sick title,
Pharrell. I was like, this is gonna slap. So for him to deliver that, to do it, he did a remake of what's it? Get Throwed with Bun B. I love that song, love it. But he's already rapped over that beat. He was on the remix years ago, 2006, and now you're doing a remake of that same song you've already rapped over that beat. And you've got the Baby and T-Pain, bro. This ain't 2006, man. We don't need T-Pain on a hook in 2023. Everything about it was just wrong. And I went in the car with it, and I was like, maybe it's because I was listening to it at home. I was like, let me try it in the car. It sounded even worse. Like, I never want to hear it again, man. It's a stain on his career for me. It was terrible. And after what he dropped in 2000,
I was just about to say that.
2020 or 2020, the greatness that was LE2, and you follow it with this. I don't get it, man. I don't understand it, bro. I don't get it. So major disappointment for me, majorly.
Nah, I'm with you, bro. Soon I knew, you know what I mean? We don't plan what we're going to say or nothing like that, of course. But as soon as you start talking about the title and everything, I knew it was that because, like you, Busta, I ain't even going to lie. People probably watch and say, old heads, whatever. But Busta, for me, he's just going up and up and up and up on my appreciation list, man. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. You get older, innit? You start thinking about things. And I don't know. There's so much more I just appreciate about hip-hop, man. And when I think about Busta, and I was doing a deep dive into his catalogue again recently. He's incredible, man. Like he really, really he ticks every single box.
He's done it all.
Like every box that hip hop, every box. His catalogue is strong. Singles, videos, live performance, flows,
innovation, fast, originality, everything. All of it.
Everything. So yeah, he's someone that I'm gonna make a beeline to listen to. And like you said, I mean, he dropped a little EP that I did not feel recently, but
trash.
yeah,
Or the fuses,
yeah,
something like that.
that's
Trash.
it. That's it. Didn't put that sub. I just got that out of my mind. But after 2020's ELA2, like you said, that was one of my favorite albums of that year. I listened to that a lot. Still, I think it's a brilliant album. So I made a beeline for this to listen to it properly. And bro, if I'm listening to an album for the first time, I'll let it run. But I skipped so many of them songs. I was like, isn't good. But I feel like, just to sort of throw a little rebuttal in there, I think he achieved what he set out to achieve. Like, this was intentional. Like, Busta Rhymes did not make an album like this by mistake. This was intentional. He wanted this sound. I think he wants a certain demographic, a certain age group, you know, and he's reached them, which is fine. Do your thing, bro. Get paid. I'm for you winning, but I'm not going to be listening to it.
Look, I realize, like you said perfectly. You just said it absolutely perfectly. It wasn't for me, but knowing that Busta Rhymes has been in the game this long, for him to make an album specifically for a kind of audience that listens to that is on TikTok or whatever. Like, I can't diss someone for doing a remake and not give the same energy to Busta. Like, it has to be across the board. So if I'm laughing at you, like doing a lazy remakes are lazy to me. Like the song structure, everything is the same. You're just changing the words of the hook. Yeah. So even like the way that the hook is done is the same. Foxy and Jay-Z. The other song that he did, Get Throwed, the flows are the same. So you're not changing anything. There's nothing about the beat that's different. The beat, you're literally just playing the old beat and just, so it's like a mixtape joint, but you're putting that on an album. That is lazy. And Busta is not someone that I would class to be a lazy artist. So nothing about it makes sense. But as you said, if he's going for a different audience, more power to you, bro. But it ain't for me. And to say that a Busta Rhymes album ain't for me doesn't make sense.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, major disappointment.
Agree, man. Agree.
It's definitely not going to disappoint you, because I know for a fact you probably didn't even listen to this shit. But I did, right? And the whole time I was like, what the fuck? What is this? So it's the West Side Gun album, and then You Pray For Me or whatever the fuck it's called. Just trash, bro. Like, this dude's rapping.
I didn't even hit play on that, bro. I didn't even hit play on that.
I couldn't. I don't ever want to hear that again. Even saying it, like, it's giving me a slight tinge of diabetes. I don't even want to think about it, talk about it, see it. I haven't seen anyone talk about it since the week it dropped, because I think everyone realizes that was not the one. I know you're not.
No, let me stop you there, bro. Let me stop you there. Someone said it was the album of the year.
When? Recently?
I saw some things that album of the year, bro.
Recently, or when it dropped?
Yeah, someone was like, "Oh, this new West Side Gun album of the year." I'm just laughing because, like you rightly said, you know me, bro. I didn't even listen to it because it's not for me. He's been around long enough for me to know that he's not for me. You get me? I like Griselda, but I don't like West Side Gun. So yeah, when you just said I haven't even heard anyone speaking about it, I'm laughing because there's always someone, bro. There's always someone.
Bro, album whatever the album is, whatever it is, it could be Mr. Blobby featuring whoever, and someone's going to say it's the album of the year. That's just how it goes. Or someone will say, if you if you go on Twitter and you type in someone's name and you type in the album title, you will find at least one person calling it a classic within 10 minutes of it dropping. That is just a fact. So it doesn't matter. It does not matter. But that was absolute dog shit. So
let me ask you, bro, because as you know, I'm not a West Side Gun fan, but I know you are and have been. So what is it about this?
I'm myself a fan of his, to be fair.
Really? Okay.
Nah, I'd say that I respect what he's done, what he's put together. Like, from a place where hip hop was just, I don't know where, for him to bring Griselda from where it was to where it is, like, I can't not respect the dude. You know what I mean? He brought us Conway, Benny, Darren Jar. He's worked with everybody. Pete Rock, Alchemist, Primo. He's got everybody on side. I can't really. What can I say against that? Do I want to listen to him rapping in that voice he does? No. When he raps normally, absolutely. So if I listen to Fly God, he weren't rapping like that. He weren't doing all the all that. He weren't doing all that shit on every song. That got so bad to the point my young son is laughing at it. Like, what is this? Like, it's too much. So that's when I tuned out. So I wouldn't call myself a fan of his. I'm a fan of Conway. I used to be a much bigger fan of Benny, not as much as I am nowadays. But yeah, I've got to give him props for Griselda, like for what he's done.
100%.
Call myself a fan? No, I wouldn't call myself a fan.
Okay. So I was going to ask you, as a fan, what is it about the album that you don't like? But you answered
like
it. He's
anything
obviously
about
in a different
I don't like
direction.
nothing about it. Nothing. Production it's just all over the place. You might have a regular kind of grimy hip hop song that he's done 1,000 times before, followed by some kind of trap beat that he can't rap over well, and then he'll bully his fans into believing it's great by going, "Oh, you don't understand it yet, or you don't get it yet, or you'll get it in 5 years." It's like, bro, if it sounds like shit now, it's gonna sound worse in 5 years. Like, you're not gonna hoodwink me into liking something that is I don't like. Simple as that. So, nah, horrible. Didn't like it at all.
I mean, I know I would feel the same because obviously I don't.
You would. So don't even bother, because that'll probably lower your estimation of him as low as it is now. It will sink lower if you listen to that. So don't even bother.
It's mad because like you rightly said, I respect him, man. But I love Griselda, the whole movement. I love it. But yeah, I feel at times, man, when he comes in with songs, he just it ruins it for me, man. Like,
and it goes on for too long.
Much,
it's too much. Too much for me.
Can't do it. All right, so I'll look at some. Sorry, was that your last one?
Yeah, that was my last one. Yeah.
So disappointment for me. I ain't gonna spend no time at Blockbuster. I had that down as number one, rightly so, because I rate Buster so highly. Do you know what I mean? It was just a disappointment for me. But we understand what he's doing, so I won't spend no more time on it. Bro, I'm gonna have to go with the one that you actually mentioned as in your top 10, and it's Conway Won't He Do It. You remember these are disappointment. Yeah, this is disappointing ones because, as I've said, Conway, one of my favorite rappers right now. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it was the curse of dropping too much, like I mentioned with Flea, but I'll just get to it. The other one I had down as well was also another Conway. I had 3 disappointing ones for me. And you can't disappoint me if I don't expect greatness from me. So
was it the drum work
that's
album?
why they're down. Say that again?
Was it the drum work album that you had down? The other one?
Nah, that weren't too bad, but it was I weren't disappointed by it, but it was the Conway and Conductor one, Conductor Machine.
Yeah, nah. But I had no expectations for that because I'm not a fan of Conductor's beats, so I wasn't expecting nothing from that. And I got what I expected. I didn't like it. So that was the one.
Right, I see what you mean. But yeah, I don't know. I think just because like I've said a million times, it's the expectancy in it. And I expect greatness from certain MCs. And Conway's being one of them. So if it don't meet that mark for me, it's just like, but yeah, when Won't He Do It dropped, I just weren't feeling it, man. Like there's a couple songs on it. For someone else, it would have been a decent album, I guess. But for Conway, it's a disappointment for me. And then the Conductor one, I didn't like one song. Even albums that I list as maybe disappointment, I might be able to pull off 1 or 2 that I feel. I didn't like one song off of that. I know it was short, but I didn't like one song. And
you sounded like they freestyled together. And I think he said that he freestyled the whole album. I was like, okay, cool. That makes sense.
Bro, here, you see what I was just about to say? I was about to say, listening to Conway rap on it, I even felt like he was bored. Like, I even felt like, it was disappointing, man. I literally listened to it because I like Conway. But then I was like, nah. And you know what, bro? Some of these MCs need to be careful, man, because there's only so much disappointing projects that I can take before I just say I don't listen to them no more. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, because this time a couple years ago, Benny and Conway for me would have been like top 5. Yeah, but they're both sort of dangerous ground. Do you know what I mean? Because it's almost like I still don't know how I feel about Benny right now because I used to sing Benny's praises, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
When Benny dropped Hannah Talk 3, then he dropped Plugs I Met. I was like, Benny.
Yeah, it's like, oh, geez.
I think we even did a show and it's like, I can't choose between them. Like, they're both neck
right.
And now
so you got the couple projects, man. It was like,
like Plugs I Met 2, wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling
Plugs
that.
I Met 2.
Wasn't feeling the one he did with Smoke Dizza and Pete Rock, which should have been fire with that lineup. Weren't feeling that. and it's him, like the way he talks to his fans. It's almost like fuck you guys. So I'm like, all right, cool, fuck you too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Yeah, I don't like that. It's
yeah.
almost
He's
like
starting to feel. Yeah, I really starting
arrogance
to like
is
push
there,
its
and I'm
energy.
like, nah,
Yeah,
I'm not feeling it. So
yeah,
yeah,
man. The album he dropped, the name's gone from me now, man. But I speak about it a lot. It's gone from. It's got Power Drill on it and some other ones where it's in that colourful whatever, man. It's gone from me, man. But that
oh,
was
the
probably the best
pirates
project.
thing. You like that one?
Yeah, that's
Pirates
the one.
thing? Yeah.
Was that the one? Yeah, not the one with the pirates
Nah,
bowl on
like,
it.
he had all some colorful shit on the cover,
That's
and
the one. That's the
you
one.
were
That's
rinsing
the
that
one.
for ages.
Yeah, I love that. That for me was like the best work from Benny for in a long time. And it might have been you or someone was saying to me that he recorded it at the same time he recorded
Yeah, there was kind of some
Thugs
throwaway.
One,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
would make sense. But
The ones that didn't make the album, basically.
right, which would make sense because
Yeah.
it had that same feel. But yeah, stuff he's been dropping, I ain't been feeling. Big Dogs with Wayne, I weren't feeling. This
Nope.
one he just dropped weren't bad though. 1 Foot In with Stove, that was decent.
I didn't like that either.
I don't mind it. I'm looking forward to hearing the project. I want to hear it. Do you know what I mean? But I'll be very interested to see how it is, man, because he don't bring that same level of excitement anymore.
Talent Talk 4 as well. Weren't really that's another one I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
we done a review on it. That's the thing. I haven't gone back to it much, which is probably.
And that came out at the top
like,
end of this year, didn't it? That was the top end of, was it like January
I
this
think
year or something like that?
No, it was last year because we done a review on it last year.
Was it last year?
Talent Talk 3. Yeah, it was
Talent
last
Talk
year.
4.
Sorry, 4. It was last year because it was the same year Conway dropped. Oh gosh, he dropped one around the same time as well, where the guys in the army fatigue at the door. But where's all the names going for me today? But yeah, so that's the one. That's the one. I'd probably go back to that more than I go back to Talent Talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that comes out. But what did I have? Yeah, they're the 3 I probably had as down as my most disappointing. Conway and Busta, and they're 2 MCs that I rate highly. So obviously there's a load of albums that I didn't like, but they didn't disappoint me. So I
people that you don't care about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. All right, bro. So what we'll do, just looking at time, we'll fly through these then. Favorite MC, favorite group, or producer, all or one of them, whatever. What would you say is your standout for the year that you kick
favorite
off?
Producer? I'm gonna go for PA Dre, and that's not because he was on the show and he's a super cool dude. It's because the projects that we just spoke about, man. Life movie, like his production has been really like super solid. So yeah, I think I got to give it to him. MC of the year. That's a tough one, man. I can't really think of anyone who's excelled this year that much, but I'll have to give that one some thought, man. I'll probably have to lean to Lloyd Banks because of the Call of the Inevitable 3 and Halloween Havoc 4. I don't think many would dispute that was a heavy back-to-back for this year. So Lloyd Banks will have to be very high on that list for me, man. I'll probably say Banks for me personally. What was the other one?
Group, if you've got one.
Now you're asking. I can't think of a group, bro, who's like smashed it this year. If I'm being honest with you,
I ain't gonna lie. A group don't come to mind for me as well, but I put it down in case you had one. But yeah, group don't come to mind for me. And same for production, PA Dre, and I want to make that clear. We ain't one of these people that's just like, oh yeah, it's nothing to do with him being on the show at all. I'm looking at the projects that I've enjoyed, the work that he's done, and yeah, I'm gonna go with
let's also be smart about this as well. We wouldn't have had him on the show if we didn't rate him in the first place. So it kind of
it makes sense, yeah. And let's be honest, I'm gonna put this out there right now. If we have anyone on, we rate them.
Exactly.
That's the long and short of it. You know what I'm saying? So anyone you see us talking to, interviewing, whatever, and you hear us saying we're fans of your music, That ain't gas talk because
He
they're
ain't
on.
gassing
They're
nobody.
on because we're fans.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Simple.
So yeah, to put that out there. And there's loads of people we're speaking to and trying to get on because we like them. We're just trying to work things out, especially our family overseas. You know what I mean? Because we're here in the UK. Sometimes getting that timing is a nightmare.
Yeah,
But
for real.
yeah,
For real.
MC. It even come up in my. I mean, the Spotify wrapped up ain't that accurate for me because, as most of you know, I listen to a lot of CDs as well. So obviously that ain't gonna impact that. But on my Spotify wrap up, this person was named as my top MC for the year, and I
RJ
agree.
Payne.
It was RJ Payne, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I just think, bro, and I'm laughing when you said Payne because it's a joke. My missus always wonders me, Payne, but she always hears me listening to him. She goes, Payne, but you know what? He's an incredible MC, man.
Yeah,
Even if you take away all of that aggressive, the battle, like he could, bro. Like if we're talking about series as well, like, like look at the series that he gives up. And
very good point.
Like, bro, I think he's one of the best, bro. Like punchlines. Some MCs have punchlines, but they can't make songs. Do you know what I mean? Like he can make songs, he can make albums, he can make series, he can have punchlines, he can do the whole battle thing. Yeah, thought-provoking stuff. I just think he's top tier, and he's probably my favorite MC right now, man. And so to see him named as my favorite of the year, I was like, yeah, that's accurate. But yeah, Payne for me, it's got to be because of Life's a Movie. I know I said one weren't that great for me, but 1 and 2, he dropped them both this year. Barbershop, we all know how I feel about Barbershop. The Jigsaw drop he done wasn't mentioned much as well. Once again, he can be an MC that falls into that category of dropping too much that people miss sometimes. But when you catch it, it's fire, man. Just all the stuff he's done. I know it's not this year, but all this cocaine, do you know what I mean? Leatherface, it's just all that he don't miss, man. So yeah, definitely RJ Payne this year as my favorite MC, man, without a doubt.
Sounds good, bro.
Yeah, man.
All right, No, what else on your list? There's something else, right? No.
Name a pleasantly surprising drop.
Pleasantly surprising drop. I'll say the Nick Grant album.
Okay.
That was a pleasant surprise. Listening to that, and I was like, "Yeah, this is sounding really good." And then I played it again. I would have said the Killer Mike, but I know he can rap, and I know he put everything into that, including a shitload of money. So he kind of didn't have a choice, but he had to deliver. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, the Nick Grant album was really good. No Name was a pleasant surprise too. So yeah, I'd probably say those on my list.
Yeah,
of pleasant surprises.
It just happened to both of them. Just before I forget as well, when I was speaking about producers, I said PA Dre. I also wanted to, like you earlier, I wanted to give Nums a shout as well. Just he's been putting in a lot of work this year. Decent projects, man. Yeah, dope projects. He's been working with a lot of artists as well. They ain't dropped a bad project together. So yeah.
Nums and Fury together, for real.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Basement series and everything like that he's been dropping. So definitely for those. Okay, I've got to check out both those two you mentioned. Actually, I haven't spent any time with, so I'm going to check them both out. Sorry. My pleasantly surprising job, I've mentioned it as well. I'm probably going to go with Hands On because, like I said, wasn't on my radar. I didn't even know it was dropping until PA's mentioned it. Checked it out. I was like, oh yeah. So I'll probably put that down on my pleasantly surprising job. Man.
All right, I gotta listen to that one. I ain't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
Wildest news of 2023.
You want to start?
No, you go first.
Okay. Bro, it's gotta be the Puffy news, man. This is the thing that comes to mind. That's why I'm laughing, because it's wild, because I guess we should say wild as in unbelievable. But the thing that I believe, okay, be careful what I say. Nothing about it seems too far-fetched for me. But the reason why I said it's probably the wildest news is because he seemed untouchable. Like, when you think about it, he seemed like someone who's signed a contract in blood and he's never going to get touched. You understand?
No, I knew.
But when I'm seeing all these things coming up,
bro, 1,000 times, bro. I told you his date is
I hear it. But you
Oh,
think about the whole Biggie thing, the Tupac thing, so much stuff that the Shine thing, so much stuff that he just seems to
Lou,
come out
Mace, Faith,
glossy. Yeah,
112,
exactly.
everyone.
Untouched.
Yeah.
Right. And then you think, oh, he's given them back their masters and all that this year. It just seems like okay. So that's why I said it's wild, because it seems like, what's happening now that all this is coming out? And bro, this is the beginning. Like
This ain't even the tip
there's
of the iceberg, bro.
that's what I'm saying.
If he
So
didn't pay that Cassie chick, let me tell you now, she would have let loose a whole avalanche of
it's not gonna look good,
news
man.
and listen. And if his ex-wife Kim Porter, if she wasn't,
Was
how can I
alive
put
here.
this? Yeah, let's just say if she was still alive. That's the safest way to put it. If she was still alive, because it's very convenient how she died. But anyway, let me tell you something. She was writing a book. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
And now she's not here no more.
Right, she was, isn't it? Yeah.
So, and then the other one who's got dirt has been paid off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean, bro. So that's why I said wild, because I think like, why he came across to me as like the Teflon Don. Do you know what I mean? Like John got here hip hop where
I'm not
nothing
even
was
gonna lie
coming
to you,
out.
man. People might be like, this dude, he's on Puffy's neck all the time. I've been on this since 1994. There's something about that dude I never liked from day one. I was always like, why is this dude in all of his artist videos? So when Shook 3 years or however a year later, I was like, yeah, like how is no one else seeing this? Like, it's cool to have a producer and like that's my guy, but you're in every video that your people are doing. Like, why are you trying to be the star? You're not the star. Like, leave your artists to do their thing.
Shine,
But I never liked him, and then when he tried to rap, like he pissed me off with how bad he was. He was bragging, I don't write rhymes and all this shit. So okay, so it's now cool to be a terrible rapper and say that you don't write. Bro, there's just such a laundry list of stuff that I've never liked. His over, he looked like a Black Simpsons character with his fucking teeth hanging out his mouth. I never liked this dude from day one. I never liked him. So people might think, this guy is just he's on Puffy's neck. I've been on his neck since I was 14 years old or earlier, because I had this innate feeling that there was something very, very wrong with this guy, and I just always stuck to it because I know I wasn't wrong. So all of this that's coming out now is not a surprise to me in the when Biggie died, I was just like, something don't feel right about this. Something does not sit with my spirit, and until whoever killed him is behind bars, something just isn't going to sit right with me. The way he died, why was he in LA, everything. And I know Puffy had something to do with it. I don't give a fuck whoever sees this. Something doesn't smell right about that whole situation to me. So ever since then, I've been waiting for this day for something, and here it is. You're a billionaire. Everyone that you've messed with is broke, dead, jail. None of them are doing great. Who else is a billionaire that you've worked with? Nobody, just you. So if there's one member of your team, if you're a team and only one of you is eating, something is wrong, bro.
Something's wrong, no doubt, definitely.
If me and you, like, you know what I mean, we're doing this, that, and the other, I'm getting paid, you're claiming benefits. Something is wrong, right? Wrong. Surely something is not right. All right.
I agree. You see what 50 posted as well? He put a picture of him and Tupac taking a selfie, and he put calm as a bitch. Love. What's his name? Did he love? What does he call himself?
Love,
Brother
yeah.
Love. Yeah.
Brother, yeah.
So he was like, calm as a bitch, Brother Love, with him and Tupac. So it's like, boy, we obviously don't
what 50's got on this dude, because Puffy hasn't even responded to him. Gene Dill's been out here for 5-10 years telling the same story. His story has never deviated. He stayed on point. And Puffy has never tried to shut him down or whatever, say anything like he's lying, whatever. This dude has said, Mark Curry's come out now saying a whole load of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it, bro. Like, I just think it's about time. Like, you know what I mean? So Judgment Day and all that kind of stuff. So it's not a surprise to me what's happening to that dude.
Yeah. Mad. What you got down then for your wildest news?
I don't know actually what the wildest news is for me in this year. Yeah, I couldn't really think of anything that I was like, yeah,
Mm.
that one really shocked me. Hmm. I guess the wildest thing was it this year that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
Now it was last year, but obviously Jada's book is this year, so a lot of the
Yeah, nah, no one read that
quote
shit.
unquote revelations are coming out this year. But I think
I
the
think
slap was actually
10
last year.
people put that. Oh, okay. That's how quick the years are going, man. This,
I might
no,
be wrong, you know. I might be wrong actually, because
nah,
time's
you're
just going
probably
fast.
right.
I think
You're
it was
probably
last
right.
year.
Um,
Mm.
yeah,
This,
I can't really think of anything that was like wow. That I was like, rah, I can't believe that
yeah,
happened.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, if something comes back to me, I'll put it on the timeline.
yeah, 100,
Last
100.
question:
Mm.
song, your favorite song or most played song of the year?
Ooh, interesting. Um, People's gonna be like, "Oh, here we go again." But it's probably RJ Payne, "Manchild."
Yeah, that's a dope song, man. I really love
Probably
that.
is that. Just everything you were saying, you're just like, man, this is just too accurate, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
already, it's probably already Richard Manchild. Definitely something off of that project, though. I'll probably
Mm,
go with that.
cool.
And the song, the name's gone for me. Give me 1 second. It was probably off of the Elzai album as well. What is it? I'm trying to think. Yeah. Probably just Say It, Don't Spray It off of the Elzai and Oh No album. I had that on repeat as well. That's for hip hop anyway. Yeah, I'll probably go with those two. Because you know what, bro? When we get a year down the line, you kind of January, February, March feels like it was an eternity ago.
Yeah,
So I'm not
exactly that. That's
sure.
why I'm like, did that happen this year or was it last year?
That's what I
Yeah,
mean. So
yeah, yeah.
those are the ones that immediately come to mind. So I know I've had them on repeat. You know what I mean?
Mm, okay.
Good question, though. What would you say for yours?
Easy for me. It's either Little Brother, Wish Me Well, uh,
Well, yeah, of course.
or Glory Glory, like that kind of double single
Mm.
thing that they did. Super,
Yeah,
super
yeah,
dope.
yeah. Mm.
And if not that, then it'll probably be Nas. I love this feeling.
Yeah, it's a tune.
I love this
Definitely.
feeling of Magic Free is a very dope song. So yeah,
Yeah,
either one of those two for me.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, that's a good question because sometimes it's when you hit that song and you just put it on repeat. Where
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
one song, it's not actually from this year, but one song that I've definitely had on repeat is Elzai again. Light One, Right One. That's just been
Hard,
was just playing. Just
hard.
I think I tweeted it the other day as well. It's just on, bro. Just left it running for ages. It's just
Mm.
everything about it. Just everything.
Perfect.
It's just,
That whole album, like
yeah.
J Swift's, JR Swift's killed that whole
Mm,
album.
yeah,
Um,
man.
yeah, man, beautiful album. So that is
Yeah,
the
man.
wrap up for 2023,
Mm,
last episode of 2023 as we take a break with our families and everything for
yeah, man.
2024. So thank you for everybody who's tuned in, who subscribed. By the way, we're at like 400 and something subscribers. I don't even think we'll
Yeah,
even get to that, to be honest with you.
exactly, bro.
So we're like 6 off. I never
Mm,
ask for subscribers. We never do that shit on here. We don't ask like, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
if you do want to subscribe and get us to that 500, we greatly appreciate it.
definitely.
Big up to everybody who's been on the show, who's guested, Backwards Sweetie, Nums, Furious, just every one of you, man,
Mm,
who's contributed your time. Our Apartment 5B family, who joined us for episode. My boy P, my boy Ben,
mm-hmm,
Two Drinks, all of you man them who's joined. Just big up,
mm-hmm.
man, for everyone who's listened. Our kids were joined on the episode.
Yeah, man. That's good.
Yeah, man. So it's been a really, really dope year, man. Like really enjoyed doing the show. Thank you for everybody who's all 490 whatever of you who
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
tunes
definitely.
in, listens to our shit every week, who stayed with us as well when we've had our little breaks and whatever, and still like, where's the episodes? Like, just really appreciate everyone who's just given
100.
just two dudes who love hip hop just a minute of your time, man. That's a lot to ask. So the fact that you do it,
Mm,
massive respect to every one of you, man. So big up. We're definitely going to continue into 2024 with more guests, more interviews, Highlight of the year, definitely me getting to speak to Master Ace about him divulging his project information and stuff like that. So yeah, man, just thank you for everybody who's tuned in this year, man. Major love. It's my birthday weekend, so I'm gonna be out and enjoying doing some big things moving into next year. And that's me, man. So from me and my boy E Major on my left, sign out for 2023, brother.
Yes, man. I echo all of that, man. Echo all of that. Thank you all, man. We're doing this for the love of hip hop. 50 years of hip hop this year, man. You've been with us. Faithful, checking out what we're doing, having our conversations and everything like that, man. We appreciate that. It means a lot, man. So for those of you that celebrate Christmas, have a great one. If you don't, happy holidays or whatever it is you're celebrating, man. And all the best for 2024, man. And we'll be back with you. So until then, keep it blessed, keep it hyped. Peace.
Happy New Year, everybody. See you in 2024. Peace.